What's going on? That's Country with Celine, and I'm joined with Jason Aldean. Jason, how are you doing today?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm doing well, thanks for asking. Well, your new album, Songs About Us, it's out. How are you feeling? It's your first project out since 2023. You must be excited.
Yeah, we are really excited about the record. I love the songs on this album, and I don't know. I just feel like last couple albums we've kind of hit our stride, and in the song, those kind of songs that I'm really into right now, and the things that I want to cut and record. And um, first single off of it, "How Far Does the Goodbye Go?" That was a really big record for us, and "Don't Tell Me," which is the current single that's out now, is probably my favorite song on the album. So just excited for it to finally be out, and people can go and check it out. And it's one thing to make the albums, it's another thing to finally get them out there and be able to get a little feedback from fans and stuff like that. So I'm excited.
How long did this album take for you to make?
If I remember right, I would say I mean, we kind of started putting things together, songs, those kind of things, probably in the fall of 2024-ish.
Okay.
Kind of started looking for songs, and then we would periodically go in the studio and last year and a couple different times and just try and work on it when we were off the road. And so maybe even summer of 2024, kind of somewhere in that time frame was really kind of when it got started.
So it's been cooking since then. Well, we love it. We love every single song on there. But there's one particular song that I kind of want to touch on. For starters, How Far Does a Goodbye Go? I just want to touch on that because that was your first single. How do you know when you, like, that's the song that you want to push? Like, that's the song. What goes into knowing that?
Well, funny story about that one was we kind of had the album, what we thought was the album, pretty much done. We had all the songs that we felt like was going to complete the record. And a couple of my bandmates hit me up and said, "Hey, we kind of started, in our mind we were done with this record, so anything that we were writing was kind of for the next album, even the one after this one." So before we're even finished with this album, they called me and go, "Hey, we wrote this thing, and it could be something really cool for the next album." And so I played it, and as soon as I heard it, I go, "That's our first single. We had nothing like that on the record." And so "Don't Tell Me" was going to be the first single. And so when I heard that, I was like, no chance we're sitting on this for 2 years. Like, we're going to cut this, and this is going to be the first single out of the gate. And that's kind of what happened. We went in a couple weeks later and cut it, and kind of knew right away that was going to be the one to kick us off.
Did you have a feeling that that was going to go number one? Because that scored you your 31st number one.
You know what? I felt like it was a hit. You can't always predict what songs are going to go number one. A lot of times, if you get a song, a hot song that's in front of your song, sometimes it can kind of prevent you from getting up there and ringing the bell at number one. But I did feel like that it was a hit song, and I felt like
Okay.
it was definitely on brand for us. It was our kind of thing, and I felt like it was going to be a hit. I don't know, number ones, you never can tell, but I thought it had as good a chance as any.
Well, it had a really good chance, clearly. I mean, like I said, 31st number one. And your label threw a surprise party for you down in Nashville during CRS week. Did you have any idea that that was going to happen?
No, actually, I didn't. We do CRS all the time, and every year, it happens here in Nashville every year, and it's like you go in and your label will have a party, and each artist will go in and play a couple songs and hang out with the radio. I mean, that's just kind of what we do. And um, they had kind of pitched it to me that that's what it was. It was like, okay, you're going to come in, and Blake Shelton's going to play a couple songs, and Laney's going to play a couple, and then you'll play a couple. And so I just kind of thought that's what it was. And so when I got there, all of a sudden the video starts playing of my career over the years, and different things. And then different artists start getting up playing our songs. And so I truly had no idea. I was very much surprised. And it was really cool to just kind of see people like that show up for us. Alabama, Blake Shelton, Travis Tritt, even the FGL boys were there and kind of sang together again. So it was a very cool night.
Well, speaking of Florida Georgia Line, I got to ask you, do we know anything about that? Potentially something coming down the line? Because I know you guys are really close.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I really don't know like all the ins and outs of it. I know, I think those guys are just kind of spending a little time kind of reconnecting after a few years of, not making music together and not really interacting a lot. So I think they're just kind of getting, kind of just filling each other out a little bit and reconnecting a little bit. And I don't know. I think when the timing's right, I think I would assume that there would be a record or something in the making, at some point. But I don't have any inside scoop on that or if or when it's going to happen. This is all my assumptions, by the way.
Hey, I thought I'd ask because I know you're friends with
Yeah,
them. So I'm like,
I
maybe
mean,
Grayson will tell us something.
I want to see it happen, so I'm all for it.
I love it. Well, back in the studio, you got with Bryan. How was that? And that's the title track of your album, Songs About Us. It must have been so fun to get back there with him.
Yeah, Luke's awesome. I mean, he and I have been friends for a long time, and I think we're always kind of looking for something to kind of partner up with, whether it be a business venture or a song or like whatever. So, I had this song that I thought was really cool for. I was going to cut it anyway, but I thought it would be a really cool idea to bring him on board, and so I just played him the song to see if he liked it, and he did. So it didn't take much convincing after that to get him on board. Luckily, all of our camps, our teams kind of know each other too, and there wasn't a lot of red tape to get through to make that happen. So it was pretty easy and just a cool song. Always fun to work with him and just kind of have something in our back pocket to always go out and play together or whatever. So I had a good time with it.
Well, him just being your buddy, it must have been like so fun and so chill and laid back in the studio. Like, does he joke around a lot? I feel like you would have a lot of banter.
Yeah, I don't feel like he's ever serious. Like it's rare to get him when he's serious, actually. So it's one of my favorite things about him, though. He's one of those guys. Like it doesn't matter what kind of mood I'm in. He can pop in somewhere and say something really stupid. I get to laughing, and then it's just like changes my whole day, right? So
I love it.
he's good people and a lot of fun to work with, and just a great friend too.
He can always put a smile on your face, that's for sure.
Yeah,
But a song that put a smile on a lot of people's faces, because I know they were waiting for this to happen. You recorded a song with your wife, Brittany. It's called
yeah.
Easier Gone. How did that come to be? Was it something that she always wanted to do, or did you bug her to do it? Do you guys sing lullabies to your kids? Like, how did this happen?
Yeah, I mean, I don't think it was something that she was like, wanted to do or whatever. I just think
Yeah.
it was something that I had had in mind for a while. And, like anything, it's like I want to, the song has to be right, all those things. And I'm very protective of her and so, I just wanted to make sure like, I mean, this is a tough business, you put yourself out there, record a song, you put it out and if you go down the rabbit hole in social media too much, it can kind of knock you off your pedestal a little bit, and
Yeah.
so I knew that she was great. I hear her sing all the time. I mean, she was on American Idol years ago. Um, so it wasn't like I didn't know that she was a great singer, but I just think the song kind of came in, and the more I listened to it, it wasn't written to be a duet, but the more I listened to it, I just felt like it could be that and I thought it set up really well for her voice. And so she had never even been in the studio really before, so
Dang.
getting a chance to go in the studio with her for the first time and let her go in there and record and kind of, really go in and cut a record like that, I think was a lot of fun for me. She enjoyed it, had a blast, and it was just kind of like, hey, let's do this and see how it goes and see what happens, and it turned out great. So I was really proud of her for going in there, and it's not an easy task to ask somebody to do, and so she did great.
Yeah, someone who's never gone in there, I can say I would be so terrified. Like, what's this? What's that? I don't know what anything is. But she sounded awesome. Could this mean that maybe there might be another song down the line that you guys will do together?
Yeah, sure. I mean, I'm always open to that, for sure. Um, I think it's one of those things where, you kind of do this one and see what the reaction is, which it's been great so far. Um, and it's that kind of thing to me is something I don't ever want to force though. I kind of want to let that stuff happen when
Yep.
it's supposed to happen and not try to force it. So I'm definitely open to it. If the right thing comes along and we feel like it's something that would be really cool, I'm definitely all about it.
I love it. Well, before I let you go, I just want to talk about your album as a whole. What song on there are you most excited to play live?
Oh man, I don't know. Probably "Don't Tell Me" was the one. I mean, that was the
Okay.
one to me. It was had always been one of my favorite songs on that record. And before "How Far Does the Goodbye Go" came in, like I said, it was going to be the first single. So I was kind of getting geared up for that. And we haven't really started playing that in the shows yet. We've done a little acoustic thing on it, but Really excited about that one. Another one we've been playing on the road already is one called Anytime Soon, that'll actually drop when the album drops. But and those are a couple of my favorites off the record that I just think are gonna just play well in the show that I like to sing. You know, I like singing those songs. So those are a couple that I'm definitely excited about. And then there's another one on there called She's Why that I think is pretty killer too.
Well, I was actually listening to the whole album with you talking about each song, and you kind of spoke about She's Why and said that that song's going to have its moment. Could that potentially be another single that you might send?
I would, I mean, I would like to see that happen. That's definitely one that's got it's got a little check mark beside it because I think that's a big song as well. We'll see how many singles we get to because I think Anytime Soon's a great one that could have its day. I think She's Why. There's one on there called One Last Look that's great. So I don't know. I mean, we'll kind of see how it all plays out, but that's definitely one that's like one of the highlights for me on the album for sure.
Okay, that's super exciting. Well, I love The High Road. I just have to say that. That is a great tune. I was blasting out the whole entire way to work today. I was like, let's go, he's back.
Yeah, that's a little sing along thing. That one's fun.
It's for sure. Well, last question here. What's something during the making of this album that you thought was funny or interesting that nobody would know until right this second?
I don't know. I mean, the funniest thing about to me it was making the video for How Far Does a Goodbye Go. That was the funniest thing I've ever seen because we all went in and they had to glue wigs on our head and like, dress us up like we were in the 70s. And, my costume was supposed to originally look like Richard Petty from the 70s with the cowboy hat and the feather and the glasses. And I ended up looking more like Burt Reynolds from Smokey and the Bandit, which was fun. But the thing was, is we all went into like hair and makeup for the video, and each time one of us walked out with a different wig or something or whatever it was, man, it's like the whole band just started busting out laughing, and I just remember us sitting there going, man, this is gonna really suck if we have this great song and we're shooting this video and it's like super cheesy and weird and we just kind of look ridiculous. So we kind of had a pretty fun day at the expense of all that. But then Sean Silva, who's our video director, he obviously had a great vision for that. The video turned out amazing, and but it was we got some pretty good laughs out of it that day.
I can see it, especially if you guys are walking out with different wigs every single time. But it was
Oh,
also
yeah.
giving Elvis vibes. I'm sure you must have gotten that. No one said that
I think
yet?
I think it was the glasses. I think it was
Yeah, it was just, the whole set. Yeah, I was just getting Elvis vibes. But anyways, Jason, thanks so much for joining me today on That's Country. It was great chatting with you. And again, album, so good. So excited to be blasting that now.
Well, I appreciate it. Thanks for having me, and thanks for checking it out.